Calling all authors, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast, hosted by Robert A. Lane, is on the air, featuring everything you need to know about narrating your own audiobook. But it doesn't stop there. From special guests, including authors and professionals from the book industry, to sharing tools and techniques needed to be a confident and compelling narrator. The journey starts now. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
And welcome, glad you're here. This is, of course, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I am Robert A. Lane. I am an audiobook coach and producer specializing in helping authors turn their books into audiobooks. If you are an author, nonfiction author especially, or fiction author, yeah, of course you can. You can turn your book into an audiobook, but here's the key. And here's the fun part, because it really is. The fun part is you do the narration yourself. Not another narrator, definitely not AI, because that's just a misrepresentation of your author brand and a bad way to represent yourself to your potential readers, listeners, and followers. You narrate it in your own voice. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Love doing what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, helping authors with an audiobook coaching program that is called Your Book, Your Voice. You can find out more information about that at robertlanecoaching.com. By the way, I do want to mention we do stream this podcast live on LinkedIn Live, for those of you on LinkedIn, and also on the Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel. By the way, if you are on the Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel, or if you go visit the Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel, subscribe, right? Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on the podcasts. I also do a coffee chat. Even if you don't catch the show live, you can always watch the replays there, all right? Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, let's dive into our topic for today. The topic is missed opportunities. Now, if you are catching the podcast live, which, by the way, it is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, when we do the live podcast, as I mentioned, on the Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel and LinkedIn. You can comment as well, because I love having interaction. So this is the question for you. Missed opportunities is the topic. Can you tell me when you had a missed opportunity, or have you had a missed opportunity? You didn't jump on an opportunity, or maybe something just went right by you and you didn't even realize there was an opportunity, or maybe you turned down an opportunity that ended up being a missed opportunity. It happens to us. It happens to us all the time. You just got to be able to see these opportunities when they come across and then grab them, right? Grab them. And I want you to think about that, because this does play into the audiobook world. And we're going to talk about missed opportunities that happen when you don't have an audiobook. There's a lot of missed opportunities, and we're going to go through a list of them. Now, I do want to share with you a story about one of my missed opportunities. And I do talk about it. I have my book that I published back in 2022 called Lights, Action, You. This is when I was really focusing on the career and life coaching aspect of Robert Lane Coaching before I expanded it to help you as an author, turning your book into an audiobooks, and then really focusing on being an audiobook coach and producer, because I worked 30 plus years in the entertainment industry, and I started off in radio and did voiceover and all that stuff. So there's a lot of experience that I bring to the table when you do work with me as I help you create your audiobook. But during that time, and actually this book, I do share stories from my 30 plus years working in the entertainment industry. But with each story, there's a tool or technique or a life lesson that I learned and that I share. So you get entertained with a story, but then I have some valuable information that you can use as a takeaway. And one of those stories that I shared in the book was definitely a missed opportunity. The chapter is called Blinders Are for Horses. And we know what that is, right? Blinders, horses, and you see them if you're in New York and Central Park and you see the horses and they have these blinders on, and it's to keep them focused on what's happening straight ahead, right? Not being distracted by anything else that's going on around them. That's why horses wear blinders. Well, you know what? Blinders are for horses. Now, of course, there is a benefit to having that, but in this case, blinders can definitely be a wall that stops you from moving forward in getting your book out there, getting your audiobook out there, or doing anything that you want to do because opportunities do present themselves to you. And so the missed opportunity story I want to share with you, as I say, the chapter is called Blinders Are for Horses in my book, Lights, Action, You. And I talk about a time when I was, because my last 14 plus years of working in the entertainment industry was working for 20th Century Fox. I worked at Fox Studios on the studio lot in Los Angeles. That was a good way to wrap up my career. But so going back remember when Bohemian Rhapsody came out? That Queen movie, that was a Fox movie. I remember when Fox was working on that movie, and they had this premiere. This was a week before the official premiere of Bohemian Rhapsody, and it was on a Friday, and they were doing a private screening in the building that was right across from the building that I worked in. And on the outside area, there was like a little spot there where they had set up outside a little, I guess you could say, a celebration area where they had food and drinks and all that. And they're going to have a little celebration party because of the completion of Bohemian Rhapsody. So this happened to be, this happened to be one of those days where I was just stressed out at work. Right, doing my thing, lots of things on my mind. I remember leaving my building, walking out of my building, and just, my focus, my blinders, my focus was just on my work, period, on my work, things I needed to do, things I had to accomplish that day. It's Friday, and man, I have a huge list of things on my plate. So I walk out of the building, and this other guy walks in, some tall guy. It's funny, I looked at him, and he kind of smiled, and I kind of did a little smirky smile because I was so focused on my job. And I walked right by him. And in my mind, I said, probably just looks like somebody famous. And I just kept going, kept walking because I needed to take a break. Later on in that day, it was after they did that screening in the screening theater that was across from the building that I worked in. They were having their little party there, right? Post-screening party. And I saw that guy that I'd walked by and other people. And of course, since I worked there, I walked right through their party, get to my building. So I do that. And just continued on with my day. That following Monday, I was just checking the old Instagram. And I saw that Brian May from Queen, guitar player from Queen, had posted a video of him being driven in a Fox golf cart, being pulled all the way up to the back of my building. I was like, no. That was the guy that I saw. That was the guy that walked past me. That was the person that, had I not been wearing my work blinders, I would have realized that was one of my guitar heroes. I was a fan of Queen. I think Brian May is an incredible guitar player. I grew up listening to that band, and as a musician and a guitar player, I love the guy. How can I not, in my mind, recognize my guitar hero that I just walked right by? It's because I was wearing my work blinders. Blinders are for horses, my friends. Blinders are for horses. They're not for you. Because what that ended up being was a missed opportunity. That was a missed opportunity to meet one of my guitar heroes. Now, we do have a policy, or Fox had a policy that, of course, you're there to work and other people are there to work, and your job is not to get all starstruck and bother any of the celebrities or anybody that's there on the studio lot to work. And, and I get that. You want to be respectful. But I'll tell you, had I not been wearing my work blinders, I so would have gone up and said, "Oh my God, Brian May, you're incredible. Thank you so much for all the music that you've provided. I love your playing. Blah blah blah. Let's take a selfie." I would have had a conversation with him, and you know what? He would have been enamored, and he would have sat down and talked with me. because that's just the type of guy he is. He's just a really cool dude. But I missed it. I missed out. When am I ever going to be able to run into Brian May again? I don't know. Probably never. Missed opportunity. I talk about it in my book. And then I talk about things that you can do to not miss opportunities, to take those blinders off and be aware of your surroundings. Okay. I'm using this story as an analogy because, again, when it comes to you as an author and your author brand, and you put all your hard work and your soul into creating and writing an incredible book, fiction or nonfiction, and you published it. So what does that do when you publish it? First of all, you've created an author brand because you are an author, and this is your brand. Who you are is your brand. You released a product, ebook, paperback, hardcover, and hopefully audiobook. And that you put it out there to represent you. So what does that make you? It makes you a professional. It makes you an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is a wonderful thing. It's hard work. It is hard work. And you got to work at it all the time to be successful. But you can be. Entrepreneurship is a great thing. So I consider you as an author. You published a book. You're a professional. You're not a hobbyist. Don't look at yourself as a hobbyist. That's one mindset shift that all authors, you included, need to do. And that's understand and appreciate that you are a professional. I don't care if if you wrote your book nights and weekends and you have a day job or whatever, so what? The point is you did it and you published it. So you are a professional. And if you are one of the fortunate few who are able to live off your writing, you can write a book and you're living off of that. That is icing on the cake, my friends. And that is a great thing if you're able to achieve that. But even if you haven't, you know what? You're still a professional. Don't tell people you're a hobbyist. I just write, just as a hobby. No, you don't. You published a book. It's out there. You're a professional. So treat yourself as a business because you are a business. And when it comes to missed opportunities, again, you are missing out if you do not have your book as an audiobook. You are missing out. The audiobook world continues to grow and expand at an exponential rate. In 2019, revenue from audiobooks surpassed ebook revenue. And guess what? That gap continues to widen and widen and widen and widen. That just tells you and me and all of us in the book world that audiobooks are very important. To have an audiobook is vital to the growth of your business as an author. To provide another fantastic product, really, another version of your book that you are giving your followers and your readers and now listeners an opportunity to choose the different formats that you offer your products in. Ebook, paperback, hardcover, audiobook. So you don't want to miss out. That is a huge missed opportunity by not having an audiobook. And you know what else that audiobook does that you can be missing out on? Is getting speaking gigs, is getting on podcasts to talk about your audiobook, to getting people to hear you tell your story. Another thing that you're missing out, right? Another missed opportunity that you are having if you don't have an audiobook is leaving a legacy in your own voice. By you narrating your own audiobook, you're leaving your legacy in your own voice. And what that means is that, someone can find your audiobook 100 years from now. And the beauty about it is that it's you telling your story. It's coming from the source. It's first person. Nothing beats that. Not another narrator can replicate you and tell your story the way you would tell your story. They're going to do their interpretation. There are great narrators out there, of course, and they're professional voiceover people, et cetera, et cetera. But again, it's their interpretation of your story. And especially if you're a nonfiction author, you have to tell your own story. It's your story. You lived it, you breathed it, you experienced it, you've written about it, and now you're going to express it verbally. You're going to narrate your own audiobook and tell your story the way it is meant to be heard. That is a wonderful thing. That is an opportunity you don't want to miss. because you're leaving your legacy in your own voice for people to discover and hear you tell your story, the way it's meant to be told and the way it's meant to be heard. Like I said, there's great narrators out there, and they'll do a fine job. They'll sound great, but there are subtleties and there are nuances that they're going to miss because they didn't live your story. I've heard a lot of authors saying, I had a narrator do my audiobook, but you know what? They kind of missed the mark. Like they didn't really express it the way I would have told it. And I'm like, well, you should have told it. You should have told your story. That's why it's so important for you to narrate your own audiobook. Don't miss out on that opportunity. Don't miss out on sharing your story, telling your experience. I've said this before in past episodes of the Your Book, Your Voice podcast about authors that I've worked with, and I've worked with a ton of them. I've helped so many authors create their own audiobook, having them narrate their own audiobook, teaching them the fine art of what it takes to be compelling and engaging and authentic and conversational and just bringing out the true authentic self that you are. That is, of course, what makes you stand out in a crowd, because that's what makes you so unique. Because there isn't anybody else like you. And to help, all these authors that I've helped bring out their true authenticity and getting them out there for people to hear them, that is a great, great opportunity. And again, as I said, I've mentioned on previous podcast episodes about the authors that I've worked with who've had very unique experiences. Most of the books that I work on with authors are usually memoirs or personal stories. I am working on a nonfiction book right now. It's really cool. I'm loving the story. It's a book called Ghost Flower. I'll probably talk more about it on the podcast, but super excited to get that audiobook done. We're getting to the halfway point now, but man, what a great story. Yeah. So as a fiction author, you can definitely narrate your own story because the author is doing a fantastic job. Even with the variety of characters that are in the book, she's still telling the story, and it's the content that makes everything. Just like with the other authors I've worked with who've done nonfiction books, who've shared personal stories. It's their content that makes it so great because they experienced it. And that's the one thing that another narrator can't tap into is your personal experience. It's your experience, not theirs. Even if you had somebody who went through a similar situation. So for example, I've had a couple of authors who shared their cancer journey, right? Overcoming cancer, being a cancer survivor. They've had, was it similar? Did they have similar, I'm trying to remember if it was similar diagnosis. But the point is, each had their own journey that was so unique to them. Didn't even matter if it was the same diagnosis. And that's the thing that another narrator can't really express if they didn't go through that themselves. And even if they did, the journey is different. That is, again, why it was so important for each author to tell their story, because it was their personal experience. Remember, when you do that, that allows you to stand out in the crowd. And I say this a lot. It does allow you to stand out in the crowd, because, okay, for example, if you're a coach and you have written a book about whatever you coach about, and there's going to be a lot of coaches who do something similar to what you do, but you know what? Your unique coaching style is what makes you stand out in the crowd, and that's what makes people want to work with you because you resonate with them in a certain way, in a unique way. Even though you can have Coach A and Coach B side by side teaching the same strategies, but one person will resonate with Coach A and the other person will resonate with Coach B, and it's because of who they are. And it's because of their personality. It's like your author brand, because your author brand is so unique to you. And I've said this as a definition for an author brand, and I think it really reigns true, and that is everything that encompasses who you are is your author brand. Everything that encompasses who you are, going back to how you were brought up and your belief systems and your morals and your values and your personality and your sense of humor and everything, your voice especially, which is why you narrate your own audiobook. But all of that is your author brand, and that's what makes you so unique. And that, again, as I always say, makes you stand out in a crowd. So you don't want to miss on the opportunity of creating an audiobook. You really don't, because that is such a great way to get yourself out there. And remember, from a business standpoint, because you are the CEO of you, I had to work that catchphrase in there, you are the CEO of you, and you want to make business decisions because you are an entrepreneur, you published a book, you are a professional, you're not a hobbyist. You want to make decisions that are going to move your business forward. And having an audiobook is definitely one of the best things that you can do, especially when you narrate it in your own voice. Yes, tell your story in your own voice. And you can do it. And here's the thing, you don't have to be a professional speaker, okay? You have what it takes. You have this wonderful sound that comes out of your body. So love it and embrace this sound, because that is part of who you are. That's part of what makes you, you. Now, what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, I love doing it because I love helping authors turning their books into audiobooks, okay? And you can find out more information about what I do for the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program at robertlanecoaching.com. But I'd love to help you turn your book into an audiobook. You need to narrate it yourself. One simple step, really. And there's links here in the description here on YouTube and LinkedIn and all the other podcast platforms that you're listening to the podcast to. Click on them. All right. Book a call with me. I'd love to speak with you. You will talk with me directly. I don't send you off to some team out somewhere, some virtual assistant, some VA out in another country. No, you talk to me. And when you work with me, yes, you work with me, because I want to make sure that the audiobook that you create is fan-frickin-tastic, and it will be. It absolutely will be. So book a call. Click on that link, book a call. I'd love to speak with you and help you turn your book into an audiobook. And also in the links, by the way, because there's two versions of the audiobook coaching program that I teach. One's the most popular one is the VIP version, where we work together one-on-one. It's a great 12-week intensive. And I provide you with the professional equipment to set up your own recording space and teach you the fine art of what it takes to do a great narration. And I do all the audio post-production for you, edit your audiobook, clean it up, make sure it meets the exact specifications for publication, and then I upload your audio for you so that you are published on Audible, Amazon, Apple, and any other distribution platform that you want to be in that fits to your marketing strategy. I do it all for you. That's what the VIP program is. And your job is just to do a great narration. That's it. I do all the heavy lifting for you. Or if you are one of those people who just really love to get in and dive in, there is the do-it-yourself program of the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, where it's DIY. You can work at your own pace. And I do teach you the tools and techniques, not only to do a great narration, but to do your own editing. This is what you need to do. To upload, this is what you need to do. Everything is there for you. So check it out. But if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Book a call. It's on my website. And again, it's in the descriptions as well. I would love to hear from you, okay? Just book a call. You can go to the website. There's plenty of buttons there that say, schedule a call, book a call, book a call. All right. The other thing that I want to share with you, of course, is that I do have an audiobook narration reference guide. That link, by the way, is in the description as well. Audiobook narration reference guide to give you some tools and techniques of how to do a great narration. And grab it. It's for free. It's my gift to you. All right. Again, the link is in the description. And it's also on my website. Right at the top, you'll see it there. It'll say audiobook narration reference guide. Grab yourself a copy. All right. All right. Well, my friends, when it comes to opportunities, don't miss out. Blinders are for horses. Okay. Take those work blinders off. Take the blinders off anyway. Don't miss out on an opportunity of turning your book into an audiobook that you narrate yourself, because that is moving your business forward. And that is a great thing that you can do for your author brand, and a great thing that you can provide for your followers and readers and, of course, listeners. Tell your story in your own voice. No one can tell your story better than you. That's just a given. And leave a legacy. Leave your legacy in your own voice, because it's coming from the source and it's coming from the heart. And it's you. And you are unique. That's what allows you to stand out in a crowd. All right. With that, my friends, we're going to wrap things up here for the podcast. As always, I always give you a little assignment, but it's an easy one. When you're out and about in the world, smile at a stranger, all right? Say hello to them. Give them a compliment. It takes less than 5 seconds. Hey, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Nice shoes. Hi, how you doing? Great hair. Hi, how you doing? Cool shirt. Whatever it is, do it. Because we need to spread more positivity out in the world. Definitely need to do that. You can be a good human, so be a good human, all right? Share some positivity. Because you really don't know what people are going through. And a lot of people, it's more than just having a bad day. Some people, it's having a bad day, give them a compliment. Now they feel a little bit better about themselves and, gives them a little uplift like that. But a lot of people are holding a lot of pain inside and you just don't see it, right? We wear that mask. How you doing? Everything's great. We're lying through our teeth, right? But being a nice, kind person, giving a compliment takes a blip of time. But that little blip can make the difference in somebody's life, so be a life changer. All right. Again, if you want more information about turning your book into an audiobook, reach out to me, robertlanecoaching.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Robert Lane Coaching, right? Would love to help you out and have you create a great audiobook, and I can help you do that. Get enrolled in the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. It's the best business decision that you can make. Check out the links in the description. With that, my friends, you have a great week. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Robert A. Lane. Really appreciate you. Again, go to robertlanecoaching.com to find out more information about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode. And remember, only you can narrate your story the way it's meant to be heard.